Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mackie and I hope you're all having a great day today. I can't believe we're almost all the way through the month. It seems like this month has completely flown by. So we are on day number 27 of 31 days of Halloween. And there's actually going to be 2 videos up today because episode number 2 of the Hotel Del Coronado series was supposed to be up yesterday. I had it scheduled for 5 o'clock. And so I didn't even check it because I've never had issues before. So I got home at 8 and I looked and it didn't end up going up. There's something happening with the processing. It was glitching or something. So I had to completely delete and start over. And by that time, it wouldn't have been up until like midnight. So I decided to just post it today and give you guys 2 videos and try to make up for it. That video is currently live right now, so you should definitely go watch that. What we're gonna be doing today is talking with Sam. If you haven't seen my other video, Sam is a boy. We thought it was a girl, but nope, he's a boy. So we're gonna be communicating with him. And then also, we're still trying to get that bad spirit out of my house. Amanda did come over the other day, but we were doing the live stream. So by the time we finished up with that, it was too late. She lives about an hour and a half away from me, so she had to get going, unfortunately. But something really strange happened while we were doing the live stream. So we're gonna get into all of that, so let's get straight into it. Okay, so if you watch my channel, I'm sure you know who this is. This is Sam, my haunted doll, who was sent to me anonymously. Thank you to whoever sent her to me, or him. Sorry, him. He's cool, protects me, he likes me. I was a little shocked when I found out he was a man, but I actually kind of like him more. It feels more like a welcoming presence. I don't really know how to describe it, but yeah, that's him. The other night when Kelsey and Amanda came over for the live stream, we had the dolls in here chilling with us, like cool, whatever. And then after, I went and set him down somewhere in a different room. And Kelsey left super late that night, so I actually forgot to grab him and bring him back into my room because he likes sleeping in here apparently. So I left him in the other room in the middle of the night. I'm like, oh shoot, like I left him out there, but I was just too tired to get up, so I was like, I'll just bring him in the morning. No big deal. Well, the next day, I forgot to bring him in again. So this time it is 1 a.m. I'm watching TV in here. And this is gonna sound so weird, no one judge me, but my baby snake named Z, she's like 3 months old, so they apparently shed a lot when they're young because they were constantly growing. So a couple weeks ago, I walked up to her cage and I saw her skin setting there. And it's the first time I've ever seen her shed or snake skin or anything like that. It was the full skin. So I grabbed it and put it in a Ziploc baggie and wrote on it Z's first shed. So I kept the skin. So no one judged me, but I just kept it. So I have it in a little Ziploc baggie and her enclosure sits on my dresser. I just took the bag and put it next to her enclosure and I was just leaving it there. So now fast forward back to a couple nights ago when I'm laying in bed. It's like 1 a.m. and all of a sudden the Ziploc bag with her skin goes flying off of my dresser onto the floor. And at first I'm like, oh, okay, it's probably the wind and the fan, because my wall is a glass slider, so I always have it open a little bit just to get some fresh air. So that's always open. And then also my golden retriever gets hot, so I have a little tiny fan that sits on the floor and it just blows air directly onto her while she sleeps. So I was just like, oh, okay, like the wind blew it off or whatever. And then I realized the past 2 nights have been extremely cold because of all this wind. It's the Santa Ana winds and the temperature just dropped drastically. Like it was 50 degrees last night and the night before. So it's pretty drastic going from 70 degrees in the middle of the night to 50 in one day. So I was freezing. So since it was so cold, this was the one night, I'm telling you, the one night, even all through winter, I leave my glass sliding door cracked a little bit just because I get really hot. So I leave it open so I get some fresh air all the time. So this was the one night I had the door completely closed and I had my golden retriever's fan off because that's how cold I was. It took me a couple minutes to realize that. And at that point, I'm like, wait, what could it have been then? Like, what could have pushed this off the edge? Because it's like tucked in there, like deep back in there. And so I'm trying to figure out what it was, and I start to panic. I'm like, oh my gosh, did I leave Z's enclosure lid open? Did I not put the pin in it? Did I put it on the wrong side of the glass? And maybe she crawled up and got out, because she loves to crawl directly up the corners of her enclosure until she's literally standing straight up. And her body length is like perfect, like head to tail is the exact same height as the enclosure. So she loves to do that. I thought that she must have went up, pushed the lid back a little bit, crawled out, and then she was slithering on the dresser and pushed the skin onto the floor. So I hop up really quick, run over to her enclosure, and I look, the lid is secure, she's laying in there, and so I'm like, oh my gosh, what was that? And so I start to get a little bit nervous. I'm like, oh no, is this the bad spirit? But then I realize I'm like, okay, this doesn't feel like him. It's freezing cold. Whenever he's around, I get burning hot. So I'm like, okay, I don't think this is him. I think it's someone trying to get my attention. And as I'm thinking this, on my wall, right here, that wall right there next to my headboard, which leads to the outside, I hear 2 loud bang bang. Just 2 knocks on this wall, that's all. And I was like, oh my gosh, like what is going on right now? What is someone trying to communicate with me right now? What's going on? And I'm weird. Sometimes I sleep with my blinds completely open because I'm too lazy to get up and shut them. So it's the whole glass slider looks out into the backyard. So I'm laying here multiple times throughout that night before I went to bed. I kept seeing someone walking in my backyard out of the corner of my eye, but every time I'd look, it'd be right when they were turning around the corner. So I would see someone, but it was just, I'd see their shoulder down and they'd be turning around the corner last second. I'm sitting here trying to figure out who this could be because it doesn't have a bad feeling at all. It literally just felt like someone like trying to communicate or like reach out. And I started to panic again because I'm like, what if someone's trying to like warn me about something? They're trying to get my attention because earlier in the night we have this plug in our garage that controls the garage door and controls like all the TVs. It's so weird. We didn't even know that plug did that. So I was out working in the van and my mom came out and we heard this like tss, and we're like, what is that noise? And then we realized it was the plug in the socket was starting to burn out. So we pulled it out of the socket because we didn't want there to be an electrical fire or something going on. But the problem was I had the garage door open at that time that we unplugged it. So in order for me to shut the garage again, I would have to plug it back in, shut it, and unplug it again. Well, stupid me, I shut the garage door and completely leave the plug placed in the socket. I completely forgot to remove it. I'm like laying in my bed for hours after this point. And then when all this stuff starts going on, I'm like, oh my gosh, is someone trying to get my attention? Is something about to happen? Is there gonna be a fire? Like, what's going on? And then I realized that I didn't unplug the plug. So I ran out there, pulled it out, and when I pulled it out, it sparked. I think someone was literally like trying to remind me or warn me like, hey, you left this plugged in, something's gonna happen. So I unplug it, run back to my room because I don't want to be out there alone at 1 in the morning. And I get in bed, I didn't see the person in my backyard for the rest of the night. Nothing else happened in here, so I'm like, okay, I think someone was trying to warn me. And then I woke up in the morning, and this was yesterday morning. So I woke up and it was like, my mom said it was 70-mile-per-hour winds, but I don't think that's right. All I'm gonna say is extremely, extremely, extremely strong winds, the strongest I've ever seen at my house. So strong that it pushed my whole 8-foot gate that's made out of solid wood, it pushed it over. So that's how strong the wind was. So the wind was so strong that it's caused several massive fires right by my house. The city that's about 10 minutes from me, it's completely evacuated. I've never really seen anything like this here, but it is absolutely insane. There's ash falling everywhere, all over my car. Last night I was out walking around for a little bit, working on the van. By the time I was done, my throat was so sore. I felt like it was hard to breathe, so that's how bad it is here right now. But that just makes me think, oh my gosh, what if I left the plug plugged in and something sparked, and because of how dry it is, it just made everything go up, and the winds and all that. So I'm like super thankful for whoever that was. But then I realized I had forgotten Mr. Sam out in the other room. So part of me thinks he was like, hey, like, I'm still here, you need me, or trying to say something like that, and was like maybe upset that I forgot him out there in the bedroom and he was trying to get my attention for that. I kind of think it was Sam who did all of this. I think he was trying to warn me and protect me, because apparently that's what he does, is protect me. So I think it was him 100%. I can guarantee you this was a man spirit. It looked like a man. The shoulders, the way the back and legs were, and the height, it looked like a man. So I'm almost positive it was Sam trying to warn me. And by the time I went out there and did everything in the garage, I grabbed him and brought him back in my room. So I think he actually did protect me that night, which is insane. So thank you, Sam. I'm not gonna forget you again, I promise. But yeah, so that's what happened with him. I think we should communicate a little bit with him and see if he has anything to say about that night, just so we can try and figure out if that's actually what happened or if I'm just crazy. But the other thing I wanted to talk about that regards the Necrophonic app, Amanda and Kelsey were over for the live stream the other night, and we started using the Necrophonic app on the live stream, and we were sitting in my room right here. And I was a little bit wary of it, because I'm like, oh no, like, I don't want to invite anything in right now, like the bad man. I really just didn't want him to come in here at that moment when we're on Twitch with all these people, and I'm like, I don't want to pass out or get dizzy and hot and red. So I was like, okay, like, yeah, let's do it. But I said to Kelsey and Amanda, like, quietly, if he starts to come through, we have to end it, like, we have to. And so they're like, yeah, for sure, like, we'll end it. They were just trying to communicate with the dolls, basically, and they start using it. If any of you were on that live stream, you would have seen what happened. We're using it, everything's going good, and all of a sudden, I start to get that dizzy feeling, super flustered, feeling like I'm gonna pass out, burning hot, and I start like, kind of fidgeting and moving around like this on the live stream and just looking around, because I felt like he was trying to take over the communication, and I felt like he was in here. And then right then Amanda, who's, if you don't know who Amanda is, she's my friend that's a medium. She was sitting right next to me right here, and she sees me fidgeting, and she says, the man's here. I'm like, are you serious? Where? And she said, he's standing in the corner right over there and he's taking over. And I told Kelsey, I'm like, all right, Kelsey, we need to stop right now. Like, he's here. And so Amanda gets up and goes in the corner and starts talking to him quietly. And so I get up and go over there and I say, you have to leave. And so he walks out through the hallway, and me and Amanda, this is all on the live stream, so we left poor Kelsey, but we start kind of chasing him through the hallway. And by the time we were out in the kitchen, I was like kind of pissed. I'm like, you need to leave. You cannot be here. You have to go. And I'm kind of yelling at him. I'm not sure if everyone could hear me or not, but I was pissed. So I'm yelling at him, and he actually walked through the garage and left. And he didn't come back the entire night. But that was also the night that me and Amanda were supposed to get rid of him for good. So he didn't come back at all while she was here. And we were kind of waiting for him. He never showed up. I'm like, there's no way he just left that easily. Not a chance. So I'm telling Amanda, I have a feeling that he's gonna act like he's gone until you leave, and then he's gonna come back because he doesn't want to be kicked out of my house. And so sure enough, Amanda drives off at like 11 o'clock, and me and Kelsey walk back into my room, and we both kind of just go, oh. And she said that drawer right there opened, and she heard a noise, and she's like, is it the man? I'm like, I think so. That feeling was here again, and I'm like, I cannot believe the second she pulled off, he came back. I call Amanda, I'm like, hey, I think he's back. And she's like, oh shoot, like I'm already driving. My mom's worried I need to go home. I'm like, okay, like we'll do it another time. So we didn't actually end up doing that, and that is why. He just really doesn't want to go, and we need to figure this out. That's the rundown with that. I'm hoping she can come back in the next week and we can actually do this. I will say it's felt better since we screamed at him to leave. It has felt better, but he just needs to be gone for good, and we need to know that he's gone. On that note, let's talk to Samantha for a little bit. Like I said, I don't really like doing this in here, and the second I feel something bad starting to come in, I turn it off right away, but I at least just want to ask her, or ask him, sorry, if he's the one who I saw walking in the backyard and all that stuff. Okay, I only want to talk to Sam. I don't want to talk to anyone else. No one else is allowed in this room except for Sam. Sam, are you here? Yes. Sam, are you the one that was protecting me the other night that I saw? Yeah. Sam, are you the one that was walking in the backyard? Yes. Sorry guys, my storage ran out, but last thing, I don't know if it even picked this up, but it said Mac. So let's get back to it. Okay, so Sam, were you the one walking in my backyard? Here. Sam, are you there? That was weird. Sam, were you the one who pushed the snakeskin off of my dresser? My turn? Sam's the only one who gets a turn. Yeah. Were you protecting me that night? I did. Who did? Well, I just want to say thank you, Sam, for doing that. Sure. Sam, are you a boy? Yeah. Boy. Okay. Well, thank you, Sam. I will talk to you later, okay? Alright, goodbye. I think that answers that. So, thank you, Sam. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap up the video there, but I have some really cool stuff for the rest of the month of October. But let me know if I should do like 25 days of Christmas and do spooky stuff then, because I feel like that would be fun. So let me know in the comments if you want to see that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn on my post notifications so you don't miss out on any of my new videos. And also comment down below where me, Amanda, and Kelsey should stay next at a haunted hotel. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you tomorrow. Peace.